Friends, let's look at principles of insurance. Principles of insurance. Okay, we have a lot of principles of insurance. Okay, this lesson we're going to cover a number of them. Yes. So the first one is insurable interest. Insurable interest. Now, insurable interest, this principle states that only the person who stands to lose financially, okay, if risk insured against occurs, has the right to insure the property or life. Are we together? Are we together? Good. So if you know that in an event that a vehicle, for example, if you insure you have a vehicle and that vehicle is not yours, so you can't go to the insurance company and insure that vehicle because you have no insurable interest. Are we together? Because in an event, if that vehicle is involved in accident or is stolen, you will not suffer financially. Okay? Because it's not yours. It's not you who bought that vehicle. The person must usually own the property he or she has to insure. You cannot insure your friend's property. This is what it means. Okay? Why you cannot prevent? You cannot suffer because it prevents people who are not owners of the items from insuring it. Number one, why? Because you may make profit. You can deliberately make a risk to occur, or you can deliberate set fire, for instance. Okay, because you know to suffer financial loss. Just want to make profit out of the insurance company, and that is not allowed. No person can insure an item that does not belong to him or her. People cannot insure anything that does not what? That does not suffer financial loss, because they might be tempted to cause a loss. This is what I'm from explaining. Okay? Okay. Alright, so this is under insurable interest. So these are the points that you should come up with, that you should write down in the exam. Then we have another principle which is known as utmost of good faith. Utmost of good faith. Okay? Now, what does this principle state? This principle states that both the insurance company and the person seeking insurance cover must say the truth or act in good faith by telling the truth, the truth. That's supposed to be truth, not true. By telling the truth without leaving out any facts. Otherwise, the contract will be void. Okay? Now, this applies when completing a proposal form, so that the insurance company has all the information required in 1, assessing the risk, 2, deciding whether to accept on the risk or not, 3, able to fix a fair premium. For example, if you want to insure your house against let's say the risk of fire, okay, then you know that you are keeping flammable gases. Okay, you have petrol, you have liquid, you have diesel. You keep diesel, you know that you keep drums or containers of diesel. You need to disclose that, so that they know they can assess the risk and decide whether to accept or not, or if they accept, at what premium. Okay? Are you following me? Very good. Very good. Now, friends, look at this. There is there is what we call the principle of indemnity. This is another principle. The third principle, indemnity. Now, this principle states that it states that the insured person, okay, must be restored to his former financial position without allowing him or her to make profit out of a loss. This is indemnity. This is the principle of what? Indemnity. Okay? Okay. Indemnity. So now, and of course, with an exception of life insurance or loss of limb or personal accident. Why this is an exception? It's because you can't just deliberately kill yourself, because you cannot make profit out of your death. You as a person with an life assurance. Okay. Now, still under this principle of indemnity, the insured should not over insure or under insure. Okay. The last but not the least, under this principle, it is supported by or two corollaries or subrogation or and what? Contribution. Okay. Now, this is another principle I'll explain when it comes to subrogation and the contribution. These are other principles. Okay. What does the principle of contribution state? It states that if an item is insured with more than one insurance company, and if the same item is destroyed by the risk insured against, the insurance companies involved would contribute proportionately towards the amount of compensation required, without allowing the insured person making profit out of the loss. Okay? So this prevents you making profit out of the loss, because you cannot insure the same risk with the same risk against with 4 insurance companies. So they will need to assess, they will investigate, and they will know, and they will contribute fairly, okay, without you making profit. Subrogation, this one, it says that once the insured is compensated in full for the loss, the remains or the wreck of the damage or recovered items becomes the property of the insurance company. It does this, okay? The insured must not allowed to make profit out of the loss by receiving compensation money and keeping the wreck or the scrap, okay, or the removed item. Okay, the right of ownership of the remains item pass to the insurance company. Immediately, the insured is fully indemnified, which is fully compensated his financial to his or her financial position. For example, let's look at this case. Let's look at this case study. A computer is insured for 2 million kwacha. It is damaged in fire, and the cost of repairing is valued at 1,800,000. How much must this is supposed to be how much? How much must must be paid in compensations? How much must be paid as a what? As a compensation. Okay, how much must be paid as a compensation? Okay. Now, this is what you do. this is what you do, and you need to apply the principle here. 1,800,000 would be paid in compensation. Why? This is because compensation money would be restricted to the value of the what? To the value of the loss. Okay? To the value of the loss. This is the cost of repairing. Okay? So it will be restricted to the value of what? Of the loss. Now, but check at this second case. Check at this second case. The second case is different, okay, and you need to understand it very well. The second case is saying a school staff room valued at 30 million, okay, is insured for what? For 20 million. Am I right? Yes, 20 million. After getting damaged by fire, the cost of repairing to the staff room is estimated at what? This is supposed to be is estimated as at 18 million. How much did the school receive in compensation? Okay, in compensation for the burned staff room. Give a reason for your answer. Good. Now, this is how you calculate. It will be the amount received. The amount received in compensation is equals to amount insured over the true value, okay, over the true value multiplied by the what? Multiplied by the market value. Now, look at this. So what we're going to do here, the amount insured is 20 million. Okay, so to make it easy, you can just add 20 over 30 because these zeros will cancel. In fact, it's 2 over 3. The zeros will cancel. 2 over 3. My pen is something else. Okay, let me just use what is here. Okay, the zeros will cancel. Okay, and you remain with 2 over 3. Then you're going to multiply this 2 over 3 ratio times the what? The amount that should be the amount for repairing. When you multiply, you're going to have 12,000. 12,000. Now, this 12,000 is the one that's supposed to be what? Supposed to be compensated. Why? Listen and listen very carefully. The amount for repairing is 18,000. Then you're supposed to be compensated 12,000. Why? Because number one, the staff room was underinsured. Okay? The staff room was what? Was underinsured. Check the cost is 12 to 30,000, and the cost of the insurance cover, I mean the premium is what? Is 20 million. Okay, 30 million is the true value of the item. Then 20 million is the premium. Okay, now the other reason is that the guiding principle under insurance claims is average clause. What does this state? Average clause states that the insured, okay, the insured must cover for the what? For the amount not covered by the insurance what? Insurance company. It does so to prevent the insured making profit out of the what? Out of the loss. Okay. Now we have another principle which is known as proximate what? Proximate cause. Proximate cause it states that the insurance company would only compensate a person who has suffered a loss if the risk insured against is the immediately what cause of the loss. He is compensated his compensation payable if the loss is caused by the risk not insured against. Okay, which is the last principle that we're going to look at. It states that the insurance company would only compensate a person who has suffered a loss if the risk insured against is the immediately cause of the what? Of the loss. Okay? So, for example, if a car is insured against the theft and later it is damaged in accident, the car will not be replaced. Why? Because it is damaged in an accident, not stolen as insured. This is under proximate what? Proximate cause. Do you understand? Very, very good. Now, look at this. In the next lesson, we're going to look at what? Steps to be taken when effecting an insurance what? Cover, or when taking out an insurance what? Cover. Okay?